Live in Tallahassee is brought to you by these local businesses: North Florida Women's Care, Kraft Nissan, Brian Barnard's Flooring America, and the law office of Johnny Devine.
When we announced our plans to recognize the birth of our university in 1947, former alumni chair Kenza Van Assender took quite exception. He wanted to make sure we did not forget that we are actually 166 years old, and we won't. But it started a lively exchange during which Ken and I debated over the moment in our history that was the most pivotal, with me claiming 1947 and Ken claiming 1905. Now, for those who don't remember, 1905 is when the Buckman Act created separate men's and women's colleges, and in Ken's view, and I quote, delayed and sidetracked our attaining university status, close quotes, giving the University of Florida a half-century head start on us. Well, I appreciate Ken's point of view on this because he lived through many of the injustices that occurred during the infant years of FSU, the funding shortfalls, and of course UF's unwillingness to play us in football. But to the contrary, I believe the women's college is a vital ingredient in the very unique recipe that has been a part of Florida State's success.
There's a force, and it just kept moving, and this transition was just on its way. And so a compromise bill combining all of these crazy and not so crazy ideas passed the legislature in 1947, and it changed the name of the Florida State College for Women to Florida State University, and it made both schools coeducational. And on the morning of May 15th, 1947, Governor Caldwell signed the bill.
I graduated from Florida State University in 1948, the first graduating class of FSU. It was so different than when the guys came and when the legislature made it co-ed. Totally different because it liberated us. I mean, we had all these things that we could do that the year before we could not do. So we just felt like that it was just that we were finally in a really major university.
What this meant was, no, they could ride in a car with a man. Or they could go downtown, and it didn't have to be in a group of four. They could walk downtown. Or they could actually have a date on campus. Prior to the end of the war, anything in a conversation with a man that lasted more than 10 minutes was considered a date, and you were only allowed 2 dates per week.
The school had just become co-ed back in 47, so this was like I came here within five years of that event. So there were still a lot of vestiges left over from the women's only time. For example, there were restrictions on women and the women on how they had to be back at home by curfew time, and they were not allowed to do certain things and so forth, had to dress a certain way. They were not allowed to wear shorts on campus or even slacks. They wore dresses. And, if they had to go to a gym class or something, they would wear shorts, but they would cover it up with a raincoat or something. And some of them were very interesting. They got the see-through raincoats. So they were literally following the rule by having a raincoat over their shorts, but but it was see-through, so, but I don't know, they got away with too much of that.
Back in those days, when you went to a football game, you still dressed up. You didn't wear the jeans. You kind of dressed up, particularly on homecoming. It was an event where you wore your nice clothes. And I can remember me and two friends of mine, we went to one of the football games, and we were sitting on the front row. Back then, it was very easy to sit on the front row at Doug Campbell. And we had our picture, and it was in the Tallahassee Democrat.
I was a cheerleader by accident, believe it or not, and wound up being head cheerleader in 55, 56. I joined the circus, and that was when we had a lot of clowns in the circus. And did a clown act. I was the Emmett Kelly clown, and had a bicycle act with 4 girls. Lady Lou Jonas was my top girl. She stood on top. She stood on my shoulders a long time, probably more than she ever did with Jimmy.
There's several here today that I graduated with. I came with a girl in my graduating class. In fact, next year will be our 70th reunion. I have told Scott to get ready. We are going to put on a reunion to remember. And I said, we want to be at the parade. We're going to call it the wheelchair parade. I've tried to be really, really involved the past 70 years, which means I put a lot into it, but I got a lot more out of it.
It was a wonderful experience, a great time, and I'm glad I was there to take part in it. What more can I say except go Noles?
Live in Tallahassee, 10:30 p.m. Thursday night on Fox 49.